Hello there, internets. It's me, as always, Ryan, here in Tokyo, Japan. Okay, so we've done a few videos on Occupy because it's the biggest thing happening in the world right now. And as we know, mainstream media does not like this group. Does not like what's going on at all. And, of course they won't like it because they're part of the mainstream. They're part of the establishment. They're owned by corporations. A lot of these corporations turn right around and make weapons of war and embed themselves with corrupt, dirty politicians who have an agenda. It's nothing related to the people's agenda. You know? All right? So tobacco is good for the soul. But kids, don't smoke. Don't listen to me. Smoke if you want to. Screw it. Anyways, we're going to do another video on Occupy here, obviously. So, it appears Occupy is rapidly going global, which is exciting. I don't know who said it, but one of my favorite things to say to people is that now is a very exciting yet dangerous time to be alive. I couldn't imagine being alive in another time period right now. This is very exciting. People are fighting the masters of our universe, the controllers, that tiny 1% we keep hearing about. And what is the 1%? What is it really? We always hear about it. And everybody puts a different group into that 1%. Some people say it's bankers. Other people say it's elite politicians. Others say it's these secretive groups like Bilderberg. Me, when I hear 1%, I think of them all. It's the elite bankers. It's the Federal Reserve. It's these central banks globally. It's these dirty politicians, high-ranking officials, military leaders, some of them. It's these secretive groups. It's Club of Rome. It's Bilderberg. It's Masons. It's all these creeps who for centuries have been kicking us in the ass daily and think it's funny. I think Occupy wants to do this. Off with their heads, man. Off with their heads. Seriously. And speaking of off with their heads, and Occupy being global, your good friends here in Japan have also started to Occupy. Right here in Tokyo. Now this is very, very exciting stuff. The Japanese typically do not join other people's fights. It's not who they are. They have a strict isolationist policy. With a little bit of militarism in it, just a tiny bit, because of their history as a nation. But typically, they take an isolationist policy. If they don't involve them, they usually stay out of it. Now, I know a lot of people here in the underground, and they get involved in a lot of things here. But the normal Japanese don't want none of it. So to see down there in Tokyo Station, people getting mad. And people saying, we ain't going to leave until things change around here. It's amazing, because that means that these mainline Japanese people, and that's who most of them are down there. It's not the underground coming up this time. It's the top coming down and saying, look, yeah, I hate my boss too. He treats me like garbage. And my company's corrupt and dirty. and my government's bad. And I've had enough, man. I want some change. It's a lot for the Japanese people to come out and say and do and support an international global movement that was not started by them and they're not directly involved in. I don't believe anybody from Occupy on Wall Street has been contacting people in Tokyo. They've saw this on the news and the internet, and they've picked this up on themselves and taken it upon themselves to stand with this global movement in solidarity. So I'm all behind the Japanese doing this. Good on them, man. Really, good on you guys. You know. But if it grows in Japan, they'll have to face the same things that the core movement is facing and what's facing globally. These same pattern is going on. Like, again, more co-op attempts. The Japanese will have to deal with that. Recently, we've had 2 more in America. The American boys are dealing with MoveOn. And they're dealing with the New York Times right now. Now, if you don't know who MoveOn is, they label themselves or market themselves as a radical left-wing group who think it's time to move on past capitalism. It's time to move on past all this and become a socialist paradise. Whatever. Really. Yeah. So they've been, past week, they went around U.S. media making statements, releasing press releases, and implying they are the leaders of the movement and they're the big organizers. Number one, they didn't organize shit. The only real organizers that started Occupy was anonymous. And you're never going to find those guys. They so well hidden, man. Nah, you'll never see those organizers. And, so have you noticed that the only people that come forward and say, I'm the leader, are people looking to cash in on it, or groups looking to subjugate it for their own damn agenda. We talked about unions a while back trying that crap. But when MoveOn went down the streets and tried to take over, that didn't last long. MoveOn's been slowly kicked out. They're not welcomed because of what they did in the media, the mainstream media, saying, this is a left-wing, uprising. It's a left-wing rebellion. We are the Occupy is the left-wing Tea Party. No, it's not. It's not that. Okay, so don't even. All right. Yeah, you need to fuck off. You're gonna be like that, man. That's the second group. This should be coming out in the New York Times either today or tomorrow. You're gonna see this big piece they're gonna print, claiming that Occupy is a populist left-wing radical movement. And here, this are what they believe, and this, their demands. Again, no. Occupy is not right-wing. It's not left. It's not these left-right paradigm, brainwashed thing you've been led to believe. Black and white, good, evil. It's not that. Nah. That's not what this movement is either. So, Luke Wadowski reported on this one. He's got a video here on YouTube. I'll put a link. Somewhere over there. Yeah. Where he's interviewing this guy at night when they're all setting up camp for the night at Wall Street, I believe. This guy, he was talking to this guy. He says, I was invited to a working group, and I went there, and they handed me a piece of paper, asked me to sign it, and say I'm an organizer and leader of Occupy, and Occupy is a populist left-wing movement. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. Ripped the paper up, walked away, said thanks, but no thanks, because this isn't what Occupy is about. It's about everybody, holistically, everybody. When you start putting labels on things, people will drop out of it and say, I told you, bunch of communists, or I told you, a bunch of angry white people, right? Yeah. So, a few videos back, I said, be warned. And I guess the people in Occupy are smart to this. And you aren't pushing off any type of effort to subjugate them or take them over or co-opt them, which is good so far. They've been able to resist that because that's going to be consistent and constant. That will not let up. until this stuff gets really, really intense, you're going to see these type of things. So good on them on that. Yeah, so if this grows in Tokyo, they're going to have the same issues. But it's going to be a little bit more compounded because it's a different culture here. The things that they'll deal with co-opting, we'll see that. That'll be done a bit more passively here. It'll be co-op to destroy, not co-op to further agendas. Because I'm telling you, people who would want to co-opt this in Japan are people who don't want it. They hate it. It scares them. So they'll try to co-opt it to destroy it or discredit it. They won't co-opt it to some agenda. That's not the only unique problem that we may come across here in Tokyo. More unique things that will happen if it grows, if they stay there a few days, is going to be the police. Now, the police have been raising hell to Occupy a little bit, but they haven't got nuts yet. Aside from the riots in Rome, but that's a different issue. What they'll do in Japan, they'll come up to them and they'll say, sorry, but this is an illegal assembly. You are bothering other people. We've got complaints. So we're going to shut you down. Any of you don't leave right now, we're going to arrest you. That's what they'll do, number one. And they'll do that daily every time they show up until they stop showing up. And police beatings and brutality is a little low here in Japan. So I don't know if the police would resort to beating them. But they may. I mean, you know, Japan is subjugated in similar fashions as what America is, but not as intensely. The Japanese are very proud, stubborn people. And they've been able to push off a lot of globalism. They have no free trade agreements here. But that may change soon. But they have no free trade agreements. Yeah, little known secret about Japan. They have totally been fighting free trade for decades. Longer than America's been fighting it, I'll tell you that. America gave into it, what, in the 60s? 50s? Yeah, they gave up quick. Japan, no free trade agreements. Another unique thing the Japanese will deal with when they're going into an Occupy situation is going to be other Japanese people. It sounds strange, but, you know, what I anticipate to happen is that other Japanese people will see this as a threat, and they won't like it because they want the status quo here. Status quo is extremely important here, much more intense than America is. So they'll go up, people will go up screaming at them, throwing stuff at them, citizens, other citizens, saying, no, 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 damn it, stop, go away, damn it, no, you don't do this, this is bad, you're Japanese, you don't do this, you're one of us, you don't do this, you stop, it's a gaijin problem. Yeah, you'll see that come out. That's the ultra-nationalists who have quite a large following in Japan. So they'll come out and try that. They're called Uyuku Dentai, which translate culturally to ultra-nationalist or imperialist. High number of those people here. And they're very dangerous. So we'll see that. So good luck here for everyone in Tokyo during Occupy. Everyone globally, good luck. And as always, if you're enjoying these videos of mine, these commentary things I'm doing, please subscribe. Spread the word. If you want to leave a comment box below, please do. If anyone is inspired to make a video response, please do. Okay? Until next time, guys, this is Ryan, checking out.